So let's take a look at the first example for intro to set operation. So in any given problems, this is how your set operation problem is going to look like. So in this case, we're going to go over with number examples. So as I mentioned in the previous section for basic types of sets, here has a letter U. So this is set U, not the union. So the union is going to look a bit different. So here in the question where it says find A union B, the union symbol looks different from the letter U. Here for the letter U, this is for set U or the universal set. So make sure to see the clear distinction between these two. So in the question where it says find A union B, that's for the union. Here in the given problem, the first letter you see, that's U, that's a universal set. So in a universal set, it contains elements of 1, 4, 6, 9, 10, 12, and 15. So these are the number elements in set U. Now the next set, this is called set A. So set A has numbers or elements of 1, 2, 5, 9. Then the next set is set B. Set B has elements of 2, 3, 9, and 15. So these are number elements in set B. Again, it's 2, 3, 9, and 15. So the question is, find A union with B. So you're going to find a union set between A and B. So before we get down to that, I'm going to go over these, but I'm going to use a visual representation of these elements here. So now before we had the numbers written out. Now we have these three sets that are in circles and groups. So here's set U with each number elements 1, 4, 6, 9, 10, 12, 15. Then here we have set A 1, 5, 2, 9, and then we have set B 3, 2, 15, 9. Now before we had the elements, the number elements written out in order, but here we just put it in groups. But again, I'm just only doing this for a visual representation or a visual example. You do not have to write out the groups. You do not have to write circles. Again, this is just to show you visually how it looks like and how it works. All right, so let's go back to the question. It says find A union with B. Basically, you're finding the union between set A and set B. In order to find A union with B, the union set between A and B, we are to combine the two sets. So the two sets is set A and set B. We are to combine as one. And if you have any repeating elements between the two sets, then you're just going to write it once. So let's take a look at the visual example of combining set A and set B, sorry. So let's look at the visual example of combining set A and set B and combining it as one set. So here I put these two circles as one circle and then putting all the elements together as one. So here this is set A union B. Now notice how in set A and set B they both have the element of 2. But in here, in the union set, I only wrote the 2 one time. So that's what I mean by any repeating elements between the two sets. You're just going to write it once. Same thing here. Set A and set B, they both have the element of 9. So what you're going to do is you're just going to write it one time for the union set. Okay. So as I stated before, these circles, you do not have to draw it out to write it out. Again, this is just to see a visual example, a visual representation for the union set. Now let's go back to the example, the problem that was given to you earlier, which is this. So set U is given, set A is given, and set B is given. This is how your typical problem is going to look like for set operation. And then here, the question is find A union with B. So find the union set between A and B. So I would just write this out, equal, then I'll write this symbol. Then all I'm going to do is just write out the elements from A and from B, combine it as one. I'm going to put it in order, and then I'm just going to close off by this symbol here. Now, again, remember I mentioned how set A has a 2, set B has a 2, but I only wrote it just one time. And then set A has 9 and set B has 9. I only wrote that one time for my answer. So, for the union set, you would combine the two sets, set A and set B, together as one. And I'm just going to put the numbers in order. So I'll put the elements in order. So if it were letters, you put them in alphabetical order. And then I'm just going to box it in red, and then will be my final answer. So let's take a look at example 2 that we have in front of us. So I'm going to be using the same problem from example 1. So that means I'm going to be using the same universal set, same set A, and same set B. Now if you take a look at the question that you see in blue, it says find A intersecting with B. So you're going to find the intersection set between A and B. So between set A and set B. And just like in the previous example, here is the visual representation of set A and set B. So again, you do not have to do this. This is just to help you visually see how the process works or how it proceeds going forward. So when you're looking for the intersection between set A and set B is basically you're going to put two sets together, but they're going to overlap, and whatever it overlaps contain common elements, meaning elements that are common between set A and set B. So you may have seen this type of diagram from your other classes, and usually talk about the Venn diagram. The Venn diagram is where you look at elements from the left circle and elements from the right circle, and then whatever in the middle is what's in common. So in this type of unit, this type of section, set operation, when you're looking for the intersection between two sets, you're basically looking for common elements between the first set and the second set. In this example, we're going to look for common element between set A and set B. So looking at from the visual example that I have out here, you're just going to look for elements that are the same, that are in common between set A and set B. So in set A, we have 1, 5, 2, and 9, which you see here in the circle for set A, 1, 5, 2, 9. And in set B, we have 2, 3, 9, 15. And so over here on the right side, we have set B, 15, 3, 2, 9. Now in the middle, we put 2 and 9 is because that's the common element between set A and set B. So again, the numbers that are in the middle are the common elements, the common numbers, basically, that are in common between set A and set B. So these are our two elements for A intersecting with B, or the intersection set between set A and set B. So my answer, I would write A intersecting with B equal, then I put this symbol, then I put 2, 9, and then I close it with this symbol. Again, just like in the previous example, you put your answer in order. So in numerical order, like in this example, if you're working with letter elements, then you put it in alphabetical order. So again, for intersection, you're just simply going to put elements that are in common between the two sets it asks about. And then I'm just going to simply box it in red, and then that's my final answer.